don't think it helped that my mom didn't really speak very good English, and then my dad was always working, so I don't really feel like I had anybody at home to ever talk to me. I feel like I always make things way more of a big deal in my head than they ever really end up being. I really like Popeyes. Anyways, yeah, that was my first job ever, and the only reason I got the job is because everybody that worked there was Filipino. And I'm Filipino, so do re mi fa sol la ti. Is that yellow or orange? I feel like that I thought it looked yellow, but now it looks orange from here. Lights, camera, action. It's just on cue. The cats just scratch the door, the closet door. I don't know why, because it's open. I thought these were noise canceling headphones. Why am I able to hear that? Hi guys, welcome to Unhinged O'Clock. I'm already unhinged. Today is November 7th, aka the day after the the 2 days after the election, the day after the election results or whatever. It's actually 1 o'clock in the morning, so today we found out who our new president is, okay guys, and it is going to be Donald Trump once again. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you what my opinion on that is, but today was, let's just say it was a nice day. It was 80 degrees, okay? It was a nice day. Has nothing to do with the presidential election or whatever, but it was a nice day. Weather-wise or whatever, okay? So yeah, it's November 7th, like I said, and it was almost 90 degrees today. I live in New Jersey, okay? If you didn't know, now you know. And the weather in November is never normally about to be 90 degrees in November. I literally had my AC on 5 minutes ago, and I just turned it off so you guys could hear me clearly or whatever, but it's really hot in here. Oh, are you done being a menace, mister? Are you done? Thank you. Yeah, that's that. I really have nothing to say. I have no commentary on the presidential election or whatever. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, so for the past couple weeks, okay, I've been editing a video that I made way back when in February, because I'm a little behind on posting things, but anyways, so I've been working on this one video, and it's so painful to watch how bad I was at this in the beginning. When I first started, I'm still not that great. Let's just be honest, but I have gotten better, okay? A lot of it was trial and error, and it's been a learning curve and a learning experience or whatever. I'm not an expert or whatever in any of this, but I am a lot better than I was way back in February. And the point of me saying that is I've been editing this video, and it is just at a point where I've been editing it for so long that I feel like I edited it too much or whatever. So I like the video because I like what I talked about in the video, which was basically about my journey with, or not my journey, my life experiences with just social anxiety and like confidence, and just how I struggled my entire life with social anxiety and how I feel like I overcame it or whatever. It's a nice story, I think, but the problem I'm having with it is that I was very nervous. Like, I still am kind of nervous, but I was very nervous recording myself and talking to a camera in the very beginning of all this. I still kind of am, but I was not used to it as much as I am now. Therefore, I was telling this story back then, and you could tell how nervous I was. Okay, let's just say that. I stutter a lot, which I do normally, and that's not really the big issue I'm having, but the big issue that I am having about that video is that I say and like after every other word, okay? And I don't normally talk like that. I don't know why I talked like that in that particular video. I guess because I was like really in my head about the story I was telling, and I didn't realize, I don't know what it was, but back then when I was recording, I felt like I had to fill in every gap of air and gap of space with something that I needed to say or whatever, which I don't really do now. I actually take some time and spaces to think about what is coming out of my mouth, but back then I didn't really think about it as much. I just spoke and felt like I needed to speak constantly, which made it very hard, and it just created this problem where I just said like and whenever there was any space, dead space or whatever. Am I allowed to say that? But yeah, so trying to edit out saying and like after every other word is extremely difficult, okay? I said it so frequently that it like bled into the next word, and then it's just too much editing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not liking it, okay? But I really am kind of upset about it because I've been working on it for the past couple weeks, and I really liked the idea of what I was talking about in that video. So I'm here today to try and talk about the same thing that I talked about in that video so that I can feel okay with myself for not posting it ever. Maybe I'll post it one day. No, I won't. Never mind. I don't think I will. I guess we'll just jump right in. I don't know. So basically what I said in this video is that my entire life I have had issues with social anxiety. I still have social anxiety. It's still a very prominent thing in my life, but it used to be way worse, okay? It was very bad when I was younger. I think it took me years, first of all, to even start speaking when I was a baby or kid or whatever. I don't know. I don't think it helped that my mom didn't really speak very good English, and then my dad was always working, so I don't really feel like I had anybody at home to ever talk to me. I didn't really know how to talk to people, and I was always very shy when I was younger. It took me a really long time not to be shy. I think I still am most of the time, but not as bad as I used to be. I literally never spoke. Like, I would just... Are you fighting? Be a nice boy, okay? Or do you want to play? Go get me a toy. If you want to play, get me a toy. Okay, I think I might have to pause this, guys. I'm sorry for the brief intermission there, but my cat just loves to be the center of attention in these videos. I'm starting to realize. Mister. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I had really bad social anxiety as a kid. I still do, but it was really bad before. People would talk to me and I just would not respond to them. I think I explained it a lot better in the first video that I made. I just said and like way too much, so maybe I'll just insert a little bit of that video into this one. So here you go, guys. A blast from the past February. I was going to post this, and I don't think I ever will. My entire life I've struggled with extreme social anxiety. I have ADD too, so welcome to Unhinged O'Clock. So I have really bad social anxiety. I used to be like one of those people that like literally did not speak. I was able to talk, but like I was basically mute. People would talk to me and I would just like stare at them. Like I was that type of person. Unless I was like close to them or whatever, which was only like 5 people, so my whole life. Yeah, I didn't really talk to anybody. It's not that I didn't want to. I always wanted to be honest. I just could not speak. I don't know what it was. I get really scared. Well, I used to get really scared of talking to people or talking in front of people or anything where like people were looking at me. I couldn't like focus on what I wanted to say. All I would think about when people were talking to me was that they're looking at me and that they know I exist, and like that thought just freaked me out for some reason. All my thoughts would go away knowing that somebody knew I existed. I don't know what kind of phobia that is, but it sounds a little bit more deep than social anxiety if you ask me. So, I had struggled with that my whole life. It was like crippling anxiety too, you know. I would like have actual like panic attacks thinking about talking to people. I still have a little bit of anxiety when I talk to people I don't know or whatever, but for the most part, it doesn't give me anxiety anymore. It kind of gives me adrenaline, and I kind of like that, so. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It could have a lot to do with my choice of jobs. I kind of forced myself out of my like discomfort, I guess, by having to communicate with people. Like at first I like was just so nervous to even be like, hey, welcome to whatever the job was. I barely could do that. Sometimes I still feel that way. I don't know, depends on the day. At the point now where I'm very confident. I guess confidence goes a long way with social anxiety. So I don't know what made me so confident. I think like a lot of it had to do with obviously age. Like as I'm getting older, like I'm becoming more wise, and like, you know, I'm not just like this kid who has nothing to say. Like a lot of people, well, I'm a bartender right now, so people come in there and they want to talk about their problems to me. I'm like an unpaid therapist basically, and I enjoy that. I do really like that part of it. I think I've come to the realization that a lot of people just want to talk to you, or like just say out loud what they're feeling or what their problems are or whatever. And sometimes you don't even really need to say much. Sometimes people just want somebody to listen, and I'm really good at that. If I'm good at anything, it's that. I became more confident in my listening abilities and like just how good people felt after talking to me and stuff like that. I think that kind of like made my like the social anxiety of people like knowing I existed, it kind of like shifted to this better feeling for me, I guess. Anyways, I was actually diagnosed with performance social anxiety. I don't know if you guys know what that means. I don't know if I ever talked about this. I know I have, but I don't know which video it was in. But yeah, I was diagnosed with performance social anxiety. And I still feel weird when people like know that I exist. I think that was the entire idea about the whole thing that I was talking about, was that the feeling of people knowing that I exist would freak me out so much. Like, whenever I felt like there was people that were consciously aware of my existence, I would get very panicky. Like, it just was such a scary thought to me, just that people knew I was like existed or whatever. It just freaked me out. I don't know, like I don't know if that's like an evolutionary trait or whatever to, for me to not like want to be around people ever or whatever for my safety. I'm not really sure what the idea of it is, but it was very debilitating to have that. I always like craved like social relationships or whatever with people, but I just like, unless people were coming up to me or talking to me, and even if they did do that, it still took a very long time for me to open up to them. I guess that's the point, guys. It takes me a really long time to open up to people that if I see you every day for like 3 months, maybe after 4 months I'll start to open up to you or whatever. And then once I do, I'm an open book and I don't care what I say ever. So that's what you guys are to me. You're like my open book. I feel like I'm not talking to anybody. That's probably why I'm so open here. Maybe when I feel like I have an audience, I'll be a little bit different. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah. Anyways, I don't think I'm even explaining anything like I did before, but like I did in the other video. But I think the reason why I'm not as bad as I used to be when I was younger is because I think I put myself in so many social situations where I was like kind of like forced to have to communicate with people and talk to people and use my voice, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it mainly started, I think, when I had my first job or whatever, when I was like 16 years old. I worked at Popeyes. Yes, Popeyes, Louisiana chicken. What, do they have a jingle? I forgot. Do they have a jingle? Love that chicken from Popeyes. There we go. This is not sponsored. I swear to God, this is not a sponsor. But if they want to sponsor me, I will gladly be sponsored by Popeyes, okay? I really like Popeyes. Anyways, yeah, that was my first job ever, and the only reason I got the job is because everybody that worked there was Filipino. And I'm Filipino, so it's the only reason I got hired, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident that that's the reason. That was my first job ever, and I had to talk to people all the time. At first, it made me very nervous, but then after doing it all the time and getting used to it, it didn't bother me as much or whatever. I think that like a lot of anxieties and panic attacks and things like that come from the anticipation of things going wrong, because when the thing happens, usually it's never as bad as the anxious thoughts that you have leading up to it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I always have anxieties about things, and then once the event is over or happened, I'm like, why was I so worried about that? I feel like that wasn't that big of a deal. I feel like I always make things way more of a big deal in my head than they ever really end up being. So I think that just constantly telling myself that made my social anxiety less. I don't know. I think throughout the years of just having, like, forcing myself to be in situations where I had to socially interact with people or whatever, I feel like that like conditioned me to feel better about it than I used to. I don't know. I feel like just putting yourself in a situation that you're uncomfortable with makes it feel more comfortable after a while or whatever. I don't know. So if you guys have anxiety and if you guys don't ever want to do the things that make you anxious, just do it, okay? Because you'll thank yourself later or whatever. I think. I don't know. Go skydiving, do whatever you want, okay? The worst thing that can happen is your parachute doesn't open if you go skydiving, and the chances of that are very slim to none, okay? Yes, there are tragic accidents that happen or whatever, but that people pass away more in car accidents than they do skydiving, I'm pretty sure. So just do it, okay? You'll thank yourself later. I did it twice, so, but that's a different story for not for now. Anyways, I'm not really sure. I feel like I look like Charlie Brown. Do I look like Charlie Brown? Is this the Charlie Brown colors? Oh, here's some good news. Because you guys care so much about my life, my personal life, I am training to be a manager at my job now, guys. Okay, so we're moving on up from bartender. A couple years ago, I actually did this, and were not paying me. They were paying me like a fourth of the amount that I made bartending. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But now they offered me a little bit more money. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do it, whatever. So I might be a lot more tired and stressed out once I start doing all this training and picking up more shifts, guys. So be prepared for that. You know what? I just wanted to say another random thought that popped in my head. I've been feeling a lot more happy and confident and not stressed and not depressed and not anxious, and I've been feeling a lot more positivity in my life, okay? And you want to know why I think that is? I think that's because I finally started posting these videos that I've been filming all year. It was a lot of stress, and it was a big, long, stressful journey. Like I said earlier, the anticipation of things that make you anxious are way worse than the thing actually happening. And you know, all the anticipation of me starting this YouTube channel, like, was like clouding my mind so much and making me just feel so depressed all the time because like I felt like I wasn't doing, you know, like I was doing all the filming, I was learning all the editing, but I wasn't posting anything. And I think the anticipation of finally posting something was like growing so much that it was just making me feel negative. It was just making me feel so negative all the time. And then when I finally started posting stuff, you know, like once the video was posted, I don't think about it anymore. I don't watch it. I don't think about it. I don't, you know, like there's nothing, it's done. But for so long, I was like editing like 50 videos at once, and like there's always little things you can tweak, and I would just go back on the videos that I thought were finished, and I was like, oh wait, let me change this, let me change that. And it just became this thing where I was like, it was like a never-ending editing thing. It was just like, I was like, my perfectionist mind was like taking over. It was just making me think too much, and I'm like, there are so many things that I can edit and change about these videos that I would just never complete something, you know what I mean? I would just never, nothing ever felt complete to me. But once those videos got on there on my channel, it finally felt complete, and I feel like that completeness that I felt from posting things eliminated all the negativity within my head about it. I feel like it took me 5 minutes just to say that posting videos made me feel good. Okay, that's what I meant by all that. Anyways, so yeah, I don't want to edit a 45-minute long video or whatever, so I'm gonna stop talking now. Good night, see you later. This is how I do a peace sign with this hand, because I crushed this finger in a door once. So, goodbye.